Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Chismis Corner podcast, brought to you by Pitt FSA. I'm your host, Michael Pacifico.
And I'm your other host, Lyka.
And today we have a very special guest, our president. Give it up, Pauline.
Hello.
And just as an introduction, can you just tell us who you are and your affiliation with FSA?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Pauline. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the, now previous FSA President because I'm going to be retiring soon.
Shameful. It's okay. You did good.
Thank you.
But yeah, so for this episode, we kind of thought that we'd kind of do a reflection episode, just kind of looking into FSA through kind of your eyes and also yours, because both you guys have been on board.
Yeah.
And just kind of going through your tenure and how you kind of have seen it grow and just anything of that sort. So yeah, my very first question is going to be, so what got you into FSA, you know?
Oh, that's simple. So actually, when activities fair, I know someone who was part of board because she came from my high school, and she kept bugging me saying, Pauline, where the heck you at? And I was like, oh, I don't know where you are. Because at the time when Activities Fair was going, we were at the Pete. And I didn't know how Pete ran, and basically. So I just basically did that. And it was one of the first time I've seen a lot of Filipinos, as most of people were. So it was really nice. And then I got really involved. And over the years, I grew to like the people in it. And so I wanted to give back to them.
So that was your freshman year?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, interesting.
Go
ahead.
I kind of a side question.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you talked to like the FSA board at that time during Activities Fair, did you ever kind of imagine that you would be in the future on the board, or like did you plan to just like be a casual member, or did you want to did you want to become a more active member? Like, did you know like from the start?
Honestly, like, I didn't know what to expect. Like, I was involved in high school, but I didn't really think that I'd be a board member because I didn't know what to expect with clubs. But I think it's because that board was so welcoming that I was just like, oh, I'll try it out. And here we are. I've been doing it for 4 years. Okay. Just crazy. But I didn't expect it. But I think the people around it really helped push me towards it, so that's where I am now.
Okay, and then just to kind of give more background, can you tell us obviously your first year you weren't officially a part of it, but what were your roles leading up to presidency?
Yeah, I was part of the events committee as like what you usually are if you want to try like helping out with events and other related stuff. And I was also the social media intern. So that got me into designing and introduced me to Canva, which I use to this day, even to my work. And besides that, it opened like a different avenue for me since I was also more involved with the member org or the ASA member orgs. Like I was an advocacy member and I was kind of part of CASA. But I think through those experiences and through collaborating with different like orgs besides FSA kind of helped me prepare for what I was going to become my first position, which was public relations chair. And yeah.
Okay. And then, so after public relations chair, what was next?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
I know, but there's a lot we got to go through. There's a lot.
Oh, after that, I was vice president. So I introduced a new concept because I wanted to do something besides like what was before known as Ate Kuya. I added like Bahay Kubo since I thought it'd be cool to have more chances for people to kind of hang out without it being pressured to have like a paired paired Ate Kuya or Kapatid or something like that. And but that time it was during COVID, so it was really hard to think of ways to make it more fun. And luckily, the people that participated in it gave me ideas on how to kind of navigate through Zoomland. And obviously, because it was like the first year of doing it, it was just like a lot of trial and error. but people were very considerate and accommodating with it. And it was really fun. And I'm happy that stick through, considering like Bahaiku was really fun this year. So I hope that that concept is stagnant throughout the years and vice versa. And after VP, I applied for president and stuff like that.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then can you just walk us through presidency for you?
Oh my gosh. Lyka could attest to this. This year's board, like this would be their first time being back in person. So something I really wanted to emphasize was that it wouldn't be fair to judge ourselves based on previous experiences. Like we're all starting a new slate. And because of that, we had a lot of hardships, especially in the fall semester. And like we were down 2 members, which was hard to navigate. But I think what really helped solidified our own mission and just our own workload was the fact that I personally thought that we got closer this semester. And I think because of that, we were able to become more open with one another, and we were able to actually bring stuff that we really enjoyed and end things on a high note with Barrio. And yeah, and like I always say to everyone that being a president's not like really easy. Like there are times where I wanted to quit, but I'm really good at like hiding like my emotions and stuff. But I think like even if I were to do it again, I'd do it again because I really do love this club, and I got to meet like awesome people like you too.
Thank
Aw,
you.
that's
you.
sweet.
Appreciate it. Kind of leading into that, so you were talking about how you kind of would still kind of do the same thing, but just in terms of how like I guess you formatted things and not kind of looking at when COVID hit, I guess, or I guess it might go in. What were some notable differences from like the time that you started to like you now, from being like a like a member to actually becoming president? Have you seen like a culture shift?
Yeah, I would say that I feel like the people that are in our community are more, I don't know if the right word, liberal is not the right word, but at least I know we were open to begin with, but we were more open in terms of adding more inclusivity. Like we went from having Ate Kuya to making it more gender neutral, for example. And we wanted to target topics that weren't common because we're known for food and for like chismis and all that stuff. But people don't really realize there are serious topics we get to talk about. And like, for example, in the advocacy summit or the API summit, we did immigrant workers or Filipino overseas workers. And obviously people know that or stereotype that, oh, a lot of Filipinos are nurses and all that stuff. But it goes beyond of that notion and how that stereotype is so ingrained in like U.S. history and vice versa. And people don't know that. And also a lot of people can relate to it because we have a lot of relatives who partake that. And a lot of our parents or relatives are also immigrants. I'm an immigrant. So we wanted to push that boundary so that it's more personal to the other person and also brings a new perspective of what we are as a community, besides it being just fun.
Yeah. And just to add, I know this is like a question of Pauline, but so I was culture chair during the like the COVID year whenever I was a junior. And that summer before like the junior started, I was like the representative during the diversity forum, and then so we talked about like different pronouns within the Asian community. And I feel like Filipinos often get overlooked when it comes to discussions, especially considering like the Asian community. A lot of the focus is on like East Asians and stuff, but for us to become involved and say what we want to say, I think has been pretty important and something that I've appreciated while joining FSA.
Okay, very nice, very nice. All right, Lyka, you want to take the next question?
Yeah, so because we just had Barrio last week and board turnover, what are some things you hope change during the future of FSA's existence?
Oh, that's a tough one because I was talking to Bryce and Caitlin, who are our new co-presidents, and just based on what everyone has been telling me, definitely more chiller events and social ones. I don't think we really utilize that as much. Granted, we were down like a couple members, and we were also trying to figure out quality over quantity type of events. But I think it's also more important to get in touch with just the like FSA community, since I feel like while we do have these grand events that helps us reconnect with them, I feel like a more down low or chiller event can approach people in a more like informal way and vice versa. And a lot of people seem to find more friends and like more people to talk to through those events. Whereas things like Barrio and or Halo Halo, we're doing a lot of things, so we wouldn't have chances to talk to them. And I think something simple as like, I don't know, a study session or just a movie night would be really cool to just implement and just hang out with everyone, you know?
Kind of like a side question for that. Do you think it was like during your tenure, just throughout, do you think there's ever been difficulties trying to balance like the fun social aspect of it and then also the serious like, you know, topics that you also want to like introduce through the eyes of like Filipinos?
Yeah, like I remember my freshman year, they had this thing called, they had like a monthly event actually, or their monthly GBM where it has a certain theme. And I remember that old board told us that it didn't go as well because like obviously as time goes by, more people are like, going to be more busy. And so it was hard to juggle if, oh, should we do this as a routine or should we focus on having more quality products? But at the same time, if you have like, let's say, an advocacy related event, and this is synonymous to all like cultural orgs, it's hard to have more people be interested in that because first of all, it tailors to a specific audience. And not everyone may be in that mindset to talk about it. Maybe they have a lot of things going on. And also, I feel like if there's really no incentive, people won't end up coming. Not saying that's agreeable with everyone else, but that's usually like a trend. If it doesn't pertain to them or there's like nothing to do afterwards, like there will be a low turnout, and it's just difficult to see like what we want to produce. Even though we have like feedback stuff, like even that's already hard enough to get people to write stuff down.
And then like, because I don't know if you implemented it this year, but I know that you also collaborated with other like Filipino student associations, primarily CMU. Do you think that like the like addition of having like the student associations that are also Filipino kind of help with like advocacy and turnout as opposed to just kind of like sticking within like the pit like ecosystem, you know?
I think so. Like the only problem with collaborating with another school is that we have IDs, like the ID system. And like we only did, I think, 2 events this year with CMU, and one of it being trivia night, and that usually gets people going because obviously who doesn't like trivia night? And the only thing is that we did it in hybrid because if it were to be hosted in ours, we would have to know a definite number on their end so that we could have guest passes. And they requested it to be in person because they had more like turnout if it's in person. So that's usually pretty difficult. And we had like a couple of people who are pretty frequent in our events who attended like in Zoom, but obviously Zoom events aren't as popular versus like in-person events. But and also CMU, is relatively new, so it's more so us mentoring them so that they're aware of how like clubs are like. Obviously, we also have things to consider too, so it's more so us learning from each other and seeing their perspective in CMU versus Pitt, because they have really different personalities from us, which is really funny. Yeah.
I bossed up during trivia.
Yeah. Lyka was so good. I mean, I was like worried. I was like, oh my gosh, should I spill like the answers in our drive? But no, Lyka was doing so well. I was so shook.
I know.
But
Damn. So what type of like, you said that you kind of have like different personalities. Like what distinction is there between like CMU versus Pitt?
Well, I personally don't think I'm funny, but for some weird reason, every time I say something, maybe because I'm just like loud, they just laugh all the time. And recently, like Bryce, Caitlin, and I went to their karaoke night, which is like 2 days ago. And I don't know, I'm just laughing. And then every time I laugh, they just laugh. I mean, they're like, Pauline, you're so funny. I'm like, I didn't do anything. Yeah, because they're so quiet and like shy. So I think having that extroverted energy really got them hype up and stuff.
Okay. They're pretty timid, like even during trivia night. And I thought they were going to dominate just because, you know.
The intellect.
That preconceived
CMU intellect.
Exactly.
That high ACT, SAT score really got it.
Exactly. But no, it was me, and I did it through Zoom.
Was it all just like Filipino like general questions, or what were like some of the questions?
It was like, so it had 5 categories. One was food, one was like geography, history, culture, and I think music. And like obviously there are choices, but Lyka was so good at just guessing which
Jeopardy.
one.
Damn.
I was like, holy crap.
Food for 500.
No.
I got most of the 500s.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
why like Lyka ranked up all the points.
Okay, that process of elimination. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it one of the organizations where it's like also similar to us, where it's like primarily Filipino, or is it kind of like a mesh of like people who also want to just kind of learn about the culture?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like I know some people who attended were like friends of theirs who weren't Filipino, and so they were able to just figure out all that stuff. I just remembered one part, I think it was in Tagalog or something, and they're like, hey yo, I don't understand this, why you want me to answer? I'm like, that's why there's choices. But yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't have gotten it. I'm Filipino.
it's
so,
okay.
I mean, no worries there. But yeah, do you think it's difficult to kind of like get a person who is already Filipino's attention to join the group versus someone who doesn't like have any affiliation in terms of like ethnicity? Like, do you think it's better, like if you were to try to like random person, there's 2 people, you're trying, like there's a Filipino who's like lived in the Philippines, kind of knows the culture, versus someone who is maybe interested and doesn't know a lot. Do you think it's easier to pull someone who's already been like exposed to that type of thing versus someone who's like interested but isn't really comfortable like joining?
Ooh, I think it really depends. Like obviously, if someone who's already knows the culture, they're more likely to want to do it because it's something familiar to them, and that's why it's important for people who are interested but not necessarily are like a Filipino to make them comfortable. And that's the whole like notion of like what FSA is about. Like we don't really care if you're Filipino or not. Obviously, if you are, that's a perk, but it's not a requirement. And I always emphasize that. And it's the same thing when you meet friends. Like you bond over similar things, and we just have a label of Filipino, but like food, music, you could literally talk about that and connect with it. And you'll be surprised by their experiences, it being similar to yours. And even the past board members, like we have people who weren't Filipino being inducted this month, and we have one who's part of one who's not Filipino. I mean, Stanley's also not Filipino. But it's really just a matter of creating that atmosphere of like saying, hey, like we want you here. And if they really feel like they really like the vibe, or they feel that they can contribute as much. That like the whole purpose is just to motivate them and say, hey, like do what you like. And if we are able to give you that space of comfort, then we did our like job.
Yeah, I feel like creating that like comfortableness is definitely like one of the hurdles for just like any like student, or like me myself. Like I've been trying to learn Korean for God knows like a year already, failing it. And I'm always just like, maybe I should go to KSA, maybe just like look at it. But I'm always just like,
it's hard. It
like,
really depends.
I'm like, I don't know if I should be there.
Yeah.
But I definitely do think like that. That's like the one. I think that's probably like the most difficult thing when you have like a student organization. Once you get past the label of like Filipino, Korean, Asian in general, once you get to see like what we have to offer, then you can get comfortable.
That's true.
But getting that foot in the door it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing.
Yep.
All right. Next question I have, and this for everybody.
Okay.
So my question is, what are some of your memorable moments from Pitt? It doesn't have to necessarily be FSA, anything like that, but just anything that kind of just like resonates with you.
I have a couple, so I could do a non-FSA one.
I think we should do like one FSA,
Okay.
another one
I
exterior.
got you. Okay. So it was actually how old was I? My 21st birthday. So I didn't get a chance to celebrate it because like I don't get sick often, but for some weird reason that day I had like a 102 fever.
Oh,
so I didn't get a chance to do anything. And I was like pretty bummed out because I was like, shit. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah.
I was like, shit. This is my first time legally in the bar or whatever. But I was sick the entire week too. And my friends were like comforting me and vice versa. But I already had like a crappy week too. And so my friend decided to like treat me out to sushi, and I was like, okay, that's always something nice. And what I didn't know, I don't know if you know like Mount Everest from here, is that they rented out the whole place to throw a surprise birthday for me.
Aww.
Yeah, it was
really
really sweet. And also like the owner like knows my friends pretty well, and even brought me a cake to like celebrate, which is really nice. And so it was, so, like little gestures made me really appreciate the people around me, and like they're really great people, and I still have like that picture to like commemorate that day. And yeah, little things just make me happy. And I guess an FSA moment, something recent especially, it's probably our board bonding. We had like a presentation night. Really gets to show each one's personalities, and Lyka's was the last one, and I was like, I wonder what Lyka's presentation is gonna be, but it was actually really sweet.
Yeah.
And I felt really touched by it, and it really gets to show what some things we are passionate about, even though some of them are kind of debatable price.
Yeah.
But it was really nice, and like just having friends is probably the best part of being a Pitt. Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right.
Like you got yours?
I thought about it. Yeah. So, because Mike, you and I transferred sophomore year, and then COVID happened that spring, and then it's been literally online for a good like year and a half. I felt like I kind of missed out on your typical like college experience, but so did everyone else.
Yeah.
So I'd say like some of my most memorable moments at Pitt have been like simple things, but there's beauty in simplicity, yada, yada, yada. Like I love hammocking when it's warm out, and I feel like it's been so cold this spring. Like when is it gonna finally thaw out? But like I would hammock outside like the Carnegie Library with my friends and just like sit around and chill, or whether that's like tanning outside of like across Phipps, like that hill, Flagstaff, or just like walks with my boyfriend, or just like I don't know, stuff like that. Like I don't know, I kind of
beauty and simplicity.
There's beauty in simplicity. That's what I'm saying.
It's lonely here. Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
No, that's good. That's good.
But some FSA moments I do cherish a lot. Board bonding last year with last year's board, I thought was super fun because even though it was online, we would hang out every so often and just like hang out and relax. And that was like the only time we physically got to see each other because the meetings were online and everything else was online. And I really liked Barrio this past year because it was my first one and I was one of the MCs. And we got to see our old dance group perform. So it was just a lot of worlds were colliding and I enjoyed it a lot. But what about you, Mike?
As a side topic, I think it's I'll get to mine, but you know, we used to be a part of a dance troupe or group, and just being able to see them kind of go into Barrio is cool. But then also like years past, like I don't know if you were here for this one, but when I was very young, like I remember going to like Barrio when I was like 8.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Wait,
So,
really?
Yeah, and like it's always a trip to see Barrio, and yeah, obviously having like the first Barrio that we've gotten to attend as students, not performers or anything like that, it's always fun. But I guess I'll start with the FSA. I think the very first time we got to meet you guys.
Oh, the Pancit picnic.
Oh
the
yeah,
picnic
I
was
remember
fun.
that.
It was just because I've never been with a lot of Filipinos in like anything other than like non-academic settings. So being able to go to a school where there's a community of us, crack jokes, play games, everything like that, it's always fun. And then like second closest was like probably like when we first did the Tinikling thing. Cause like I was expecting Lyka to join me, but she didn't.
There's a whole story to
We're not
that.
gonna get into it, but I expected her to join, but she left me, and she was like, as transferring, I didn't have a lot of friends at that time, so I was like, she was my crutch. And then she wasn't there, and there's a whole bunch of people I don't know, and I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. This is really like I don't know how to say hi to y'all yet.
You and I joined.
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't leave him. It's that they closed the applications early because there were way too many people,
Yeah,
and so I
that's
didn't do it on
true.
time.
Yeah, but she told me in the message she sent me. She said sign up for this. I said I'll do it tonight. I said I'd do it tonight. I did it, and then in the morning I sent her I said I confirmed it. Because at that time, me and you had the same class.
Yeah.
And Pauline comes up. She's like, I'm glad you joined. I was like, I guess, yeah, I didn't know I got in.
I do most things last minute, and now that I think about it, another memory is me deciding to apply to culture chair the night before applications were due.
It's okay. That's a threat. Like literally this year's board, like I was worried because we didn't get any applications till the night of, and I'm like, yo, where are your asses?
But yeah, I don't know. It's just maybe it's a Filipino thing, you know. Always a last minute thing that you want to try for. But even when she was applying for her first year, I remember she messaged me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the voting thing.
Yeah.
She's like, when's that? I was like, didn't you apply? Or don't you know this? It's like Friday or whatever. She's like, oh, I didn't know that.
Bro, wait, I feel bad because that's what Lyka was last year. She's like, guys, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, Lyka.
Lyka usually, in group plans, Lyka doesn't really, she's not the one that spearheads the planning, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. She's always on time though, so that's
Yeah,
on her.
that's true.
As long as she knows what it is.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's all-
Exactly.
that's all that matters.
I can craft a little speech on my way there. In fact, that is what I did.
Yeah,
That's good.
It's impressive.
Yeah, there you go. Underdressed though. I remember. A little
I
underdressed
know.
for the event, but you killed it.
Thank you, Mike.
And then those are like my FSA moments. I guess one of my favorite moments was still my first year before COVID. I had a class where I had a 3-hour block in between, and there was a break room that I'd always go to, and I forget the building, but it's the computer science building, I think.
Oh.
And there was always this kid who would sit there with me, and I knew he went to my class, but I was like, man, this is I was like, I don't know if I want to friend you or not. You're kind of weird. So, but like I gave it like 2 weeks, and then I was like, you know what? I'm really bored. Like I'm just watching YouTube videos. I'm gonna befriend him. So I said, what's up? You know, we became friends. And like slowly but surely, like every single person who had that same class would always meet in that like same like break room, and we'd have like 8 or 10 people just chilling there. And it was kind of like a study like group type thing with all the same people, but that was like the very first moment that like I was like this is different from before I transferred, because I went to community college, and like here, you know, you have like teens and young adults, and sometimes in community college you have like median age like 35 and you know, when you talk to people, you know, it's just people trying to get their lives together, and they're like, what about you? And you're like, I just got out of high school, man. They're like, okay, cool. And they're like, I got a wife and 2 kids, and
you're like, oh,
all right, cool. I guess we're gonna be friends. But yeah, that I just like that because that was my first like true moment that I got to make friends with people my age, and just also be in a like atmosphere that felt like college.
So wholesome.
Yeah. Be that way sometimes. All right. Next question we have is, I guess, a general one. What are some tips that you'd have for college students during their time at Pitt? I want to gear this more towards you guys because you guys are going to be graduating. So, you know, hit me with the tips. Hit me with the details, the chismis. What do you guys have to offer for incoming students, current students, you know? Come on now.
I was going to say, Lyka and I, we like do a lot. So probably a main thing is that definitely delegate time for yourself and learn how to say no. I think that was the hardest thing that, I still have a hard time doing that, but like know your boundaries. If you really can't do it, don't force yourself, because it's going to be bad on your physical and mental health. And if you learn to practice that, it'll get better when you need it, like during the workforce, when people are trying to get something out of you. But yeah, just have time for yourself, because it's going to be tough. Like, it's not easy, so...
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, the past 3 years, Pitt has really... It's hard, especially like STEM majors at Pitt. Like the workload and the curriculum's hard. I'm sorry to say this, but it only gets harder after your freshman year. That's something that I won't ever lie about, because it does get hard. So definitely, I like to stick to routine. Time management, it's... something has to give, whether that's a little bit of sleep or a little bit of social life, but like just make sure you balance everything and know within your limits for sure. Like going off of what Pauline said, it's easy to, you know, say yes to many things, be a part of many clubs, but if you can't give 100% to every single one, then make sure to reevaluate and pick certain ones that you can stick to. Because I personally, if I was a recruiter looking at your resume, I'd rather see you stick with one club for all 4 years instead of like, you know, multiple clubs for just a temporary period of time. So that's the advice I would have to give.
I think definitely like, I think at least still for like your first year here, I feel like you should try as many clubs as you'd like.
Yes.
At least
And
filter
then
out
learn.
what you
Right,
actually
exactly.
want to stay with.
Yeah.
But I do agree that the time management and balancing out everything is definitely going to keep your mental in check. So,
And just don't compare yourself to anyone. Like, it's so easy to do that, but like focus on yourself, because if you compare yourself to one person, then that's only going to be really bad for how you view yourself, and you're just constantly repeating with that mindset, you know?
Yeah. That's something I definitely had to learn. I feel like I'm very competitive by nature. And so my major, it's biochem, and it's only like 20 kids. And so these other kids are also super motivated. You know, they have the same drive as you are, and there's a tendency to want to compete with them. But honestly, just focus on your performance and how you improved from your last performance, instead of you comparing yourself to others, because that will make you very unhappy.
Yep. Yep.
Very good, very good. All right, and then Lyka, go with the next question.
Okay, so we are seniors, and graduation is coming up so soon. So what are your post-grad plans after college?
So I plan to go to grad school at, this is so funny. I'm going to Columbia University for for master's.
Oh, did you tell what your major was?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm majoring in, it's such a niche major. It's communication science and disorders.
Okay.
And so I'm going to go to grad school to become a licensed speech pathologist. And yes, I'm just going to commute there to save money because it's New York. It's really expensive. But I'm hopefully going to do that and trying to find a job within that range too, since so expensive. But I'm excited though. So a new place and a new thing to explore.
Very nice, very nice. Are you going to be staying like at least for the summer here in Pitt, or are you just going to be, once graduation, you're off to New York, Columbia?
Oh no, I'll stay for a bit because I want to hang with like a few friends and like my roommates before we all go. And like my lease ends like end of July, so might as well use as much of my remaining time at Pitt. And obviously I'll visit too, since a lot of my close friends are in it. But just preserve the summer memories because I won't have to think about classes by then, but have to like reevaluate my life again with post-grad and stuff like that.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Lyka, how about you?
Yes.
You're also graduating?
I will be graduating.
What's your major, by the way? What's your major?
Oh, my major is molecular bio on the biochem track. And what is...
Excuse me back there. Hold on.
What's with that giggling?
Hold on now. Keep it professional. Thank you.
So I'm going to work a year, maybe 2 years, like a gap year. I think I really need to take a step back. And I originally chose biochem because there's so many different avenues. I personally would not go to med school, and that's not even like in my plans at all. But there are like different areas in science. So I just want to take a step back and work and also get my money right.
There you go.
So I'm just gonna be living at home for 1 year at least. I need to get my finances in order and figure out from there on out. Just going with the flow. Okay. Maybe go back to school. I don't know if that's anytime soon, but I do want to pursue like a higher degree.
Yeah.
Interesting. Not me, but I'm glad you're thinking about it.
Don't do it.
I mean,
Don't do it.
But yeah, good. A couple more questions. Well, that was actually all of our questions. Now I look at it.
Oh.
But anything else we want to talk about? I think definitely talking in terms of like STEM within like Asian communities would kind of be interesting to kind of delve into, because there's always like the competitive edge, the mental, everything about that. I think that'd be interesting. I don't know what you got. Do you have anything that you'd like to talk about?
Ooh, if you had to choose like a major or something you wanted to pursue that your parents, like without your parents say, without like pressure, it doesn't have to be STEM, what would you pick? I have one in mind, and it's kind of funny.
I don't know if I'd pick a degree. Like, I don't know if
doesn't have to be a degree. Like
a job in general?
Yeah. What you want to pursue in life.
I don't know. I got a lot of random things.
That's
like,
good.
Like, I'd like to be a barber.
Ooh. Are you good at cutting your hair?
No, but I'd love to learn. I don't know. I have like a lot of weird, like barber. I think like anything that has to do with like esports is cool.
Yeah. Wait, I'm in that class right now for...
There's a class for that?
Yeah, it's a 1-credit class. So if you want to take an easy class...
Might need the GPA boost.
Yeah, it's really fun. But sorry, going off track. But what about you, Lyka?
Yeah, so my parents didn't really influence me at all when it came to picking my major. They were pretty accepting of me picking. I was originally pre-pharmacy at Duquesne, and then I transferred sophomore year and picked biochem. But Mike's gonna laugh. If I had to actually if I had to like redo it,
Okay.
my whole ass college career, I would pick computer
Damn,
science.
I didn't think that was gonna, I thought you was gonna be a lawyer. Oh my god.
I have a
Now you
million
disappointed
different ideas in my head. I think I would have done.
Homicide?
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
I mean, she'll stand out.
I mean, yeah, you'll stand out.
Yeah, I'm actually in a computer science class right now, but it's like the
Okay.
very baby one.
You stand out?
Eh.
Okay. All right. Well, there's diversity there. That's good. That's good for the field.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
But I
interesting.
wish like it's Intro to Computing for Scientists or
Yeah.
CS11, literally like the
Mhm.
very
Basic.
bottom with you don't need any prior like programming experience.
Mhm.
But I kind of treat it as an elective, and so like I'm like shit, I have a project due next week,
That's
and I
good.
haven't spent my time on it. I wish like if it was actually my major, if I actually like absorbed it, I feel like I could be like decent.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'd be like a coding prophet, but I think I'd be like better.
That's good. That's
Then-
good. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
You
There's,
don't have the skill set.
yeah,
for
hard work
it.
will pay in dividends anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're a prophet or not.
Yeah.
They make
okay.
bank. They
That's
make
true.
Is-
Big tech.
Is that one of the many? Is there more? Is there more? I thought you was gonna be a lawyer. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I know. I was
You
Okay.
wanted to be a lawyer.
during my I don't know how to.
Let 'em
I don't
know,
if
like,
this
let 'em
should
know.
be said. Anyways, whenever COVID happened,
Yeah.
I think people were becoming more aware of human rights issues, especially in the U.S. And that was during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement. And you just like kind of see injustices happening around you, and that inspired me in a
Aw.
way to kind of pursue, or I thought at the time
Yeah.
to almost want to pursue like human rights law, because that's a really big issue still to this day in the US and in many countries. But for being like a third world or not a third world country, a first world country, and it's still having a lot of those issues, I was
Pretty concerned.
deeply offended. But that's like a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother
Wow.
topic, but you know,
Something new.
I thought that was gonna be number one, but I guess I was wrong.
No.
It's okay. It's okay. What about you, Pauline? What was you gonna switch it up with?
Well, if I didn't have any restrictions and if I had the money, I wanted to go into performing arts.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you noticed, but I was a theater kid. It's very obvious. But, like, ever since I was a little kid, even if I, like, a small role, as long as I was on stage, I really like it. I feel, like, very enlightened by things like that. And I always like making people laugh and, like, smile and stuff. And it's just cool to see, like, you get to transform yourself to a different person, like, every night. And have that avenue that you probably can't do in real life. So, given the chance, and if I was rich enough, I'd love to do it. I
Okay,
wanted to
okay.
do it at Pitt, but I feel like, well, because Pitt's so white,
You would have stood out. Yeah.
No, but like I went to a white, like predominantly white high school, and I love like my theater friends, but it's definitely a vibe, like very culty and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so wanted to like get away from that part of my past, but wanted to like perform still. But it's just hard, because you can't really make bank unless you're really successful, which is the whole music industry in general.
That is true.
I mean, there's another thing. I remember someone told me this when I was working. They said I should be an actor.
I think you should. Or
I don't want to.
I should be a stand-up comedian.
I was the comedy though. The comedy.
You would be a good voice actor.
I don't know about that. Like, if I was to rate like all three of those, I'd probably put like comedian like first, actor
Yeah.
second, like voice acting third. But I still don't think I think I'm funny, but only like situationally.
But aren't most comedians like that though?
Yeah, but like they know how to like if I'm supposed to plan out like a set,
That's true.
like what I'm supposed to talk about, that's not the energy I bring. Like I just the spur of the moment, I got you.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know, you give me an opportunity, I got it. I got it. You know, if I'm supposed to, if you're coming in knowing that like I'm supposed to make you laugh, I'm gonna start sweating. I don't know what to do. I can't do that.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
It's a
and
lot
then
of pressure too.
yeah, I just one of the I still want to try before, like, I don't know, I hit 30 or something. I want to go to like a bar, do stand up, just see how it goes. Everybody tells me that they'll go to the bar that I go for open mic, but I don't want that. I don't want that.
I'd be there.
I just want to see if I actually crash and burn with like random people, you know?
Oh, that's
like
true.
Practice.
Yeah. Because like if I already know that someone's just gonna be like laughing and clapping for me, even though I know I burnt like a joke, it's not gonna help me.
It doesn't feel genuine.
Yeah, it's not gonna be genuine.
That's fair.
So I'd rather crash and burn and just kind of see how I take that type of energy, and just kind of work with that. Yeah. And then actor, I don't know. I'm just very expression, I express a lot with my hands and emotions. So everybody's like, "Oh, you'd be funny as an actor." I'm like, I don't think I would.
Are you good at memorizing?
I'm decent. For lines. I think I'm decent, but I don't know. If it was like maybe improv type things, maybe, but I don't know. I have a friend who wants to shoot a K-drama, and. You guys ever watch the movie Chef on Netflix? So there's this movie Chef on Netflix, and it's pretty much about like a disgraced like chef who was like at his top of his game, but he kind of lost the passion, and he slowly builds up to kind of remembering why he wants to be a cook. So you kind of think of that idea, and you throw like a K-drama in there, and just make the main character just like he's really bad at like relationships, and that's pretty much his pitch. And he's like, "I want you to be the main actor." I said, "Why me? What's wrong?"
Damn.
I was like, "That's kind of a dig to me." What do you mean?
Is.
Dang.
So I've said like multiple times no, but he's already written the script, and he's just
Wow.
waiting. He's waiting for an opportunity. I just don't want to give it to him.
Would you get paid? Or
No.
is this like volunteering?
I mean, he'll pay for like transport and everything, but like I don't want to do it.
I don't know. Time is money too. That'd
That's
be
what I'm
taking your
saying.
At least
That's what
time.
I'm saying.
compensate you, if you're gonna do it.
I'm afraid if I said just pay me, he'd probably say yes. But I don't want to say. I don't want it. I was like, just get like because like he's from New York, so I was like, there's a lot of people,
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of people who died to act. Not me,
But you're the
now.
apple of his eye.
I
think
know.
That means a lot.
I just think he should check them eyes. Like, there's nothing good that's gonna come out of this.
You don't know that. You don't know.
I
Maybe
mean,
he'll improv things, and it won't go his way. But
I don't know. A lot of I think I've learned through the years, like when I started just thinking about jobs in general, I at first I wanted to do like medical, accountant, back to medical, then I went to like English maybe, then it went to comp-sci, then I thought I'd go to the military again, and it's just a lot of different things, and then now I got a lot of homies that do like film and everything. And it's always fun to shoot YouTube videos, do a lot of content stuff, but I don't know. I kind of want something stable.
I know.
At its core, I kind of want something to be stable.
That's always important, something to consider too.
But maybe one day, somewhere down the line, I'll find the passion.
Yeah.
But it won't be soon, I'll tell you that.
Well, it's a good thing we're still young.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We truly do have like a long time to decide. And plus, even people who are like mid-30s go on to switch their careers.
It is true.
True. As you've seen at community college.
Yeah, they always switch it out. That's why,
Yeah.
I got all those multiple, situational things, I've seen people who lost it all, want to just redo in life, and then people who just haven't even started yet. So sometimes I take those opportunities, or not opportunities, but what's the word I'm looking for, situations I guess that I've been a part of for granted, but they definitely help with the learning aspect of life.
And for comfort too. I feel like we're kind of pressured to know right away. After high school, what major you pick in college, and most people switch their majors at one point or another, and even after college rush to think about what to do, but there's time.
Yeah.
There is time.
It really depends on you.
That is true. All right, well, anything else that you'd like to close with, guys?
No, I'm good. I think we had a really nice discussion.
Yeah. Pauline, would you like to close out with anything that you'd like to kind of tell to FSA, or just anything in general?
I want Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Even though I was big no last time.
That's okay. It's okay. You know, I was like, she's probably sleeping. It's okay.
Bro, I really knocked out last time. But anyways, besides the point, definitely thanking both of you. Like, I know you guys really took up the role in starting up this podcast. And honestly, it's been a joy watching it. I don't know if you've noticed or watched the YouTube stuff. I'm always the first to like it. I felt like a
there
mom.
There you go.
But
Biggest supporter.
Hey, we just need them. We just need them episodes out. You know, I'm just saying, if we could get those episodes like a weekly basis or something, like that'd be great.
But
Just
yeah,
saying.
other than that, like honestly, and like moments like these make me really glad I chose Pitt. So thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Well, yeah, I just want to say thank you, Pauline, for even giving Mike and I this
Yeah.
opportunity.
Of course.
I know this is the first year that FSA's done this. I'm glad that we were the first to start.
Yeah, I remember when I pitched this like the end of like an e-board thing. I was like, I just wanted to throw ideas out there, you know. I wanted to
Yeah.
spice it up, but I didn't think you would take me serious, to be honest.
No, of course. I mean, I'm also the type that's like, hey, if you want to do it, let's try it. If it doesn't work, it's okay.
All right, you know, we gave our all.
Exactly.
So, you know, well received or not, we're a stamp in FSA history right there.
Yes.
There we go. If we crash and burn, that's okay. That's all right. We'll still be on the YouTube page.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. So, is that everything? You guys good to
Yeah.
go? All right. Well, that concludes episode 6 of the Chismis Corner podcast, brought to you by Pitt FSA. I'm your host, Michael Pacifico.
And I'm your other host, Lyka Mamrell.
Oh, and I'm Pauline.
And thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.